Damn, I woke up to see my fucking live wallpaper gone. So, but besides that, let's get back into part 3 of this shit. Okay, the Midnight fucking Tango. It's been 2 weeks since I thought of this shit. Oh my fucking gosh. Dude, this shit. Dude, I'm glad I seen something that put me in a good fucking mood to do this one. Okay, here's how we're gonna do this. So, the night after a bloody night, and yes, bloody night, she legit was stabbing him while he was stabbing her. You catch my drift? Yeah, that's horrifying to think about. Okay. Oh my gosh, bro. I can't believe I'm still thinking about that shit. She was stabbing him while he was stabbing her. Oh my gosh. Anyway, let's get into this shit. So, the more. Oh my. I can't even get through it without saying in a straight face. Oh my gosh. The morning after, the room was covered in blood. And Deku wakes up. I mean, does he sleep? Actually, Jason can sleep. Yeah, he wakes up to see Toga, like, right next to him. And he doesn't remember what happened because it was just a blur. And then he looked at the room. He was like, "Oh yeah, that did happen last night." And basically, Toga basically grabs on him and says, like, "No, stay for 5 more minutes." He says, "No, like there's still school to go to, even though I don't need it." And he basically brushes her off to the side and gets up. Now Toga thinks it's incentive to now get up too. So, like, as soon as Jason gets up, she legit just, like, stands up and puts on her clothes too. And Jason just turns around, looks at her, and be like, and says, like, "The fuck are you doing?" And she says, "Well, I'm going to school with you." And Jason says, "No, the fuck you are not." And Toga says, "Yes, I am." And he says, "No, you're not." And Lake missed away before she could grab it. Basically, leaving him in the house with Melita, the original Jason. And basically, Deku says, like, I'm not dealing with that shit. And this is mine. This is about 2 hours before they go to school. She's deep in the woods in America. And Jason, in his rush, he says, "Fuck, I forgot my wallet." And then he reminded himself, like, "Wait, I didn't even need a wallet. I got a fucking knife." And then he just, like, he just licks his back, grabs his knife, and in that time, Toka, like, steadily sneaks up and grabs him. I mean, like, jumps on his back. He doesn't feel it because, he's used to being stabbed, not grabbed on his back. And lick his back and puts his knife away. And mind you, this is a hunting knife. So basically, so after that, he licked his back to Japan, and he feels like a small sensation on his back. He's like, "Oh, damn it." And basically he tells Toga, like, "Get the fuck off my back, please." I mean, matter of fact, he doesn't even say please. He says, "Get the fuck off my back." And basically she said, "No, not until you take me to school with you." He says, "Fuck it, why not?" And like, Deku basically started walking to school with Toga on his back. I mean, this isn't slowing down at all. He's still walking pretty fucking hard and fast. And when he gets to school, like, how do I say this? What the fuck? I can't remember the first fucking part now. Damn it. Oh yeah, Bakugo wasn't in the fucking class. Now, when it gets to the first fucking day, I mean, is it the first fucking day? I don't know. I didn't watch the whole fucking episode. I only watched the end of it. And it was 2 weeks ago, so don't expect my memory to be stupid. Like, oh, like, it wasn't the first day. My bad. If it was, I'm sorry, but, like, like, it's the first. No, it's not even the first day. I remember what Deku did to Bakugo. No. So I'm gonna say, like, due to many circumstances, Deku came to Nezu and says like, yeah, I can't get her off my back, and she wants to be a student here. Like, I don't know how you can finagle this, but can you please put her in 1A? I'm scared of what other class, be it putting her in any other class, because she'll just come to my class no matter what. And Nezu, upon hearing this, he looks at Jason and be like, and basically says like, you know what? I don't even want to deal with it. It basically says, yes, she's in 1A. Why not? Because he was thinking like, what the fuck is he coming to me for about this shit? Like, you're Jason fucking Voorhees' son. You can do whatever the fuck you want. And then he was like, no, I'm not even gonna say that. And Toga's in 1A now. Aizawa basically gets like the list and is updated. It says, okay, like, and as soon as he says Jason Voorhees Jr., he basically just raises his knife up and basically says here. And mind you, Ito will usually say some shit, but he's too fucking pussy to right now. Like, he legit, like, he can't stand Jason's attitude, but he can't do shit about it because Jason will probably kill him. And there's nothing anyone can do about it. There's just like, they're hoping he doesn't snap. It just kill everyone in the fucking school. And fuck out of here. And after going on the list, when they say Himiko Toga, basically she says no. Oh my gosh, what's with all the notifications? Basically, I said she. Fucking, how I do this? She fucking says like, excuse me, it's Himiko Voorhees, and he basically says, no the fuck it's not. You better not. Basically, he says that in the middle of the class. Like, when soon she like goes up to present herself, she says, hi, I'm Himiko Voorhees. He says, no the fuck you're not. And basically says, no way in hell. And she says, well, what about last night? And he says, well, what about it? And she basically looks at him, he looks at her, and basically she walks over him and says like, round 2, he says no. What the fuck? Brayden, not now. What the fuck is with all the notifications? I wake up at 9 o'clock in the morning one fucking time, and I get blasted with notifications. Damn it, now I lost my spot. Fuck. Alright, now I remember. Just because I had to punch the fucking table a little hard. Anyway. And everyone hears, what the fuck? Okay. I'm gonna just let this happen. And yes, I do type slow as hell. Alright. Now I'm generally getting pissed off. I'm waiting for him to send a notification that he's seen that. Like, I'm dead ass waiting for it. He's gonna send something in the middle of me talking. Anyway. Oh my fucking gosh. I can't remember where the fuck I was after that. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, after that, because I remember now, like, they're just staring at each other closely. And Himiko, like, leans in and kisses Jason's mask. He says, no. No. Like, no, get the fuck away from me. And basically walks up to the class and says, yes, I'm Himiko Voorhees. And he basically says, like, as much as I want to kill you right now, I'm trying my hardest not to. And she says, you can't. And he says, well, why can't I? And she says, "Cause I'm Himiko Voorhees." He says, "No, fuck it. Like I really don't care anymore." And the second he was gonna pull out his knife, he said, "Fuck it." He just like legit gave up. He was like, "No, fuck it." And yes, not everyone refers to her as Himiko Voorhees, and he sits there like not even pissed off anymore because he's like, "There's no point. It's just gonna be an endless argument." Aizawa doesn't even question it either. He's like, "What the fuck?" And then like when she goes to explain her quirk, they go to be like, "Oh, that makes sense." And when they all say, "Oh," and when and freaking Jason hears this, he says, "What? What's fucking O?" And they said, "Well, she got a blood quirk, and you are kinda immortal. So how does that work?" And he basically says, "Don't worry about it. It's none of your fucking business." And she basically said, "Oh, like about last night." He says, "No." Like he says, "No, there's no way you're pregnant. There's no way now." And basically the whole class looked like the girls group is sitting there like, "Damn, scandalous." And the men's group looking like, "What the fuck?" As I was looking at it, like, I really don't get paid enough for this shit. Like, I really don't. I need a fucking raise. He really about to walk out and tell Neji, like, bruh, I fucking quit. This is too stupid, too stressful, and I have to deal with two people who damn near are villainous but are heroes. I don't want to deal with this shit. Okay, I know where this is about to go. So now it's heroes versus villains time. Mind you, Jason doesn't have a hero suit because he's like, what the fuck? I can just fight in my regular clothes. And basically, when he walks up there in his regular clothes, he's met with All Might, basically telling him like, as much as like you can, I'm gonna ask you to go and get some hero clothes and put like your hero clothes on. And basically, like Jason looks at him and he says like, "These are my hero clothes," and Amon says, "No, they're not." He then Jason pulls out his knife. He says, yes they are." Then All Might basically realizes who he was, and just Detroit smashes him into the wall and says, "No, they're not," knowing that he can't die. So he just went 100% on his ass. And basically, he was thrown through a couple walls into the fucking room, and he says, "You know what? I'm gonna do this." Goes home and gets the Jason uniform, and basically walks back out. He has freaking the Jason from Mortal Kombat 10, where he had the freaking chain around his neck. He has that, and says like, "Okay, like here's my hero costume. You fucking happy?" And he basically says, "That'll do." And he says good, and Deku says good, and punches him in the fucking stomach, sending him through a couple walls too. And basically like after that, All Might basically gets up and says, "Damn, this kid is good. Almost lost my breath." And almost goes into Small Might form. And now Deku's just sitting there waiting. Basically, Deku's just sitting there waiting for the rest of the class to basically get out. It basically comes to the hero thing, and All Might basically to stand up again. And you know who the first person wants to come out? Himiko, with a different fucking school uniform. Like her villain uniform, basically, with the freaking mask part. And Deku basically looks at her and be like, "When the fuck you get the time to make that?" And she says, "Oh, it was built for me." And he says, "Fucking how? When did you get the time to pay someone to do that shit?" And she said, "More like the freaking R&D team made it." He says, "Who the fuck are those? Who the fuck is that?" She says, "The people who make shit." He says, and he basically like throws his 19 sling and says, "I make shit." And basically like and you can see the anchor boiling off of him, and she basically looks like damn. And basically like the knife falls down and he catches it and puts it away. And the whole rest of the class is now like still shook at the mere presence of that Jason being a little bit PO'd. So after damn, I just can't even imagine that. Just sitting in class and all of a sudden you see Jason be like, I make shit, and basically like all you hear is that. I'm pretty sure his father is like, basically his father knew what happened last night. He's probably sitting there like, damn, he's probably going through hell right now. And Melina's sitting there like, what? He announces it. He's like, damn, Deku's probably going through hell right now. And Melina asks like, what do you mean by that? He says, oh, like, don't worry about it. You'll figure out in like a couple hours. Which she will. This is going to be that's the funniest shit ever. And like after that, basically regains his breath, gets from underneath the rubble, and says, "All right, so it was gonna be heroes versus villains, but now it's gonna be me. It's gonna be Jason and his partner versus me and my partner." Because yeah, like no one in the class can handle that punch. And this like a, it's gonna be a fucking like this is gonna be a beef between those two. It's not even that. It's just like All Might can worry about throwing 100% at Deku. I mean, at fucking Jason, and Jason can just like almost dog walk like freaking All Might if he tried to. Even All Might would have like too much trouble with the original Jason. That's why he doesn't go after him. He thinks his son is easier, but no, his son is just as strong, maybe even stronger. Little does he know, he held back all that punch and sent him flying to the wall. So basically, on Deku team, like, cause Himiko wasn't taking. Himiko basically went up into his ear and basically says, "You choose anyone else, I'm gonna fucking kill them." And that, and like no, she didn't even whisper in his ear. She basically says that out loud, and Jason just looks at her and says, "Do I give a fuck?" And she says, "You might," and he says, "How am I fucking? All right, fine." And basically, she's been like, for some reason, she's able to get inside his head and work around him. Like, when the points where like he wouldn't give a fuck, she makes him at least give a little bit of a fuck. Basically, now defending is Himiko and Jason, and attacking is All Might and fucking. Damn, I can't even think of who would attack with him. I think All Might was just going in by himself. He basically just says like, "Fuck it, I'm going in by myself." He said, "As much as like I love to work with one of you, like this is Jason we're talking about. Like unless one of you want to get physically beat like end up like Bakugo, I suggest you just stay here." And what he's alluding to was in the first episode. In the first and second episode, I hold Bakugo so bad that he went to general studies. He said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur. I'm not a fucking hero." Like if this nigga Jason can be a hero, the world is fucked. That's basically his thing. So while he in there hidden the books, Jason hidden people. And mind you, this is like I'm gonna say 10 minutes before like everyone's like ready to go in. Jason's just sitting there, like in the building, like just thinking and contemplating to himself. I thought I heard someone walking. Anyway, it basically Toga's with the rest of the girls, and when they ask like, oh, like basically this is 10 minutes before the exam begins, because Jason's gonna like miss out and grab her if she was like even a minute late, even if she was like a minute late, and she knew that. And basically she said when they're asked like, how is Jason like without the facade, and she basically says, no, that's not a facade, that's actually him. And when they ask like, oh, how hasn't he killed you yet, and she basically said, well, like, I kind of learned a bit about him, like because of the whole Quirk thing, so I know how to work around him. And basically, when they asked like many questions, but one of the best question was when they asked when freaking Mina basically came out and said it, and he says, "All right, let's stop beating around the bush here. How was he in bed?" And freaking Toga basically smiles at this and says, "Well, that's for me to know and you guys to find out." But she says, "Not gonna lie, it was pretty hefty." And basically, like, fuck. Wait, what the fuck? Why is someone in? All right. Anyway, and soon upon hearing that, basically, like, like she's a minute late now. Freaking Jason Lake missed there, and basically looks at her and says, "Why the fuck?" And he basically looks at her and says, "Why the fuck are you late?" Like legit, I said come in there 5 minutes before, waited in there for 10 fucking minutes, and you still haven't came in. Now I have to physically come here, grab you, and bring you in that bitch. And she basically says, "Oh, I'm sorry, but girl talk." And he says, "Fuck your girl talk," and grabs her and basically picks her up and Lake missed away. And that whole time he didn't notice it because he was talking to her. Every one of the girls was just staring at him from the waist down, and they were just thinking like, "Damn, should I risk it?" And Hanako basically like before like she left, she basically smiled and said, "Smile." And Jason basically brought her in and basically said, "All right, unless you want to help somehow against All Might, wait here." And basically, like she said, "Well, how the fuck can I help?" And he says, "I don't know, figure something out." And basically, like the thing begins, All Might instantly at the top, and basically throws an air, basically like throws a punch and breaks the wall. Deku upon Jason upon seeing this, he just looks like, "Wow, that's so fucking impressive." Matter of fact, I'm being sarcastic here. "Wow, that's so fucking impressive. What's next? You gonna throw me through the walls again? Oh wait, that already happened." And All Might gets kind of PO'd about this because he ain't taking this seriously. And the second he goes to like punch Jason, Jason grabs him by the fucking neck. It just slams him through the ground. And then just punches him through the floor down to the ground floor. And this is 10 stories. And basically he says, "How's the air down there? You over masculine fuck." And basically like All Might is like about to stand up, then he's sitting there like, "Damn it, this kid is way too fucking strong." And basically he's slower to get up, and Jason says, "If you aren't gonna get up in 5 seconds, I'm jumping down there." And basically he said 4, 3, 2, and he says fuck it and jumps down there and just like double D drops freaking All Might, basically knocking the wind out of him, turning him into Small Might. And then Deku said, "Oh, that makes fucking sense." Picks up All Might, Small Might, lifts up his shirt. He says, "Ah, okay, I see what happened here," and basically just like threw him, and basically said like, basically went up back, Lake missed back upstairs and said, yeah, all the way to the roof." He said, "Yeah, the match is over. I knocked out all." He basically says like he was about to say, "I exposed All Might," but he was like, "I knocked out All Might." And then like the whole class thinks it's bullshit. Basically what Himiko does is, while Jason basically knocked out All Might, she proceeded down the stairs where there's barely any stairs and was smacking All Might awake, basically saying, "Wake up." Like, and All Might, after like 10 minutes of this, "Wake up," smack, 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 smack. She basically like says what happened. Toga said, "Jason floored your ass. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. You didn't land a single hit." And she basically says like, "Yeah, that's my husband pretty much." And basically he Lakes missed on that last part. He says, "No the fuck I'm not." And she says, "Well, eventually." And he says, "Maybe, never." And and them two lock eyes again. And he basically like gives up again because he's like, "No, I don't even got the energy for this shit." And basically Jason tells All Might to go back into whatever the form it is and walk out. Basically, like, and I know because I kind of broke your ribs and broke your leg. So you can at least, like, you don't even have the percent to hobble. You're fucking hurt. And he basically says, oh gosh. And basically just like goes in the All Might form and is seen hobbling out of the fucking building to the infirmary. And the whole class is just saying like, what the fuck? And then Jason basically late missed into the class and says hey kids, want to see a dead body? No, I can't make the Helsing reference here. Basically, Lake missed in with Toga on his back and says like, all right, well since that's over, I'm gonna just be the person who refs the rest of this shit because Aizawa is sleep. Nezu doesn't give a fuck about like anything I do, and All Might is in the infirmary. So if anyone has any questions, take it out with me, my fist, and like not even the knife. And he throws the knife behind him. And the rest of the class goes like scheduled under Jason's supervision. And he even calls his dad like, hey, want to help me with this shit? And he says sure. Lake missed in with Melina, and upon seeing this, she sees like the girl like next to Jason, basically like messing with him, like playing around with him, and Mila says, hold up, who the fuck is her? Who the fuck is this bitch? And like Jason, like both the Jasons look over like at freaking Toga and look back at Melina, and they're like, eh. And Toga said, oh my fucking, there's like, when, how? And Jason basically Senior said, well, and she basically says, oh, last night, get the fuck out of here. And like, and basically Jason Jr.'s looking like, and she says, oh my fucking gosh. And mind you, Kai is still in here. I almost forgot about her. And she basically looks, and was Kai in this one? Yeah, Kai was in this one. The fuck am I talking about? Kai basically looks over, and she's like, oh, and she was like, oh, I thought you were playing around. You were actually serious, to Toga. And basically, like, Toga said, yeah, pretty much. And that confirmed it. Melina was like, I didn't even hear anything. Like, and Deku said, yeah, like, the rooms are been soundproofed for a while now, after the freaking Mortal Kombat 10 incident. And what you guys don't know is that these two do play games against each other, with each other, and everything. So if it's any sort of horror game, like, they know the characters in it personally. So when they talk about the Mortal Kombat X situation, they mean when Jason was fighting Leatherface, was fighting Predator, and was fighting Alien. Basically, he got mad at Leatherface for just throwing his chainsaw the entire time. And basically, he yelled out, you don't even do that shit in the fucking movies. And you can just throw your chainsaw now? Get the fuck out of here. And basically, like, he even criticized the person who made the fucking game. Because he was like, how the fuck do I even throw this machete and it comes back to me? I have to physically run and grab this shit. And basically, like, because this would go on for, like, several days at a time. So, like, he thought it'd be more convenient to just soundproof the whole entire house. It's funny because he doesn't pay for shit. Everything he gets is either he kills someone and takes it, or he just steals it because they're too scared to do shit about it. So he stole many YouTubers soundproofing, and there was many YouTube videos out there like, yeah, Jason stole my shit, and everyone thought it was a joke. Like, even the people in the class, when they heard about it, they were like, wait, I thought that was a joke. And Jason basically Senior looks, and basically he's like, you're lucky it's not the 13th. And basically they all basically like get scared and run away because they know the story of the 13th. And basically, like, Melina jumps up and basically like stabs like Jason in the neck and says like, no, you can't do that. And Jason pulls out the sai and says, I know. And can you please stop And basically, I know it's your only way to, like, almost hurt me, but please, like, can you refrain from stabbing me in public? And basically, as she's saying that, Himiko's taking notes, because she basically stabbed like Jason Jr. in the stomach, and he basically said like basically Jason like as Melina stabbed fucking Jason in the neck, like Himiko stabs Jason in the his son in the freaking stomach. And basically, they both say at the same time, "Can you please stop stabbing me in public?" It's like, you talk about us being bad. You're stabbing me in public, which makes this even worse. And this is in front of the class, so you know how dysfunctional that fucking family is. So the rest of the class like follows underneath like both the Jason's judgment, plus Melina. And Melina's helping the girls, basically telling them like how to do certain things. Because yes, she used to be like Melina. So they don't know anything about her, but they can tell that she's pretty fucking strong if she can like stab Jason without him basically killing her. And the rest of the class goes like that. Like the only thing that really happens after school, basically, because now, like, basically Jason Senior, like, how do I say this? Melina basically forced Jason, like the older Jason, to basically go in there and ask of a job from Nezu, and Nezu basically told him like, "The fuck are you asking me for? You're Jason. You could legit have killed me as soon as you walked in the door and took the principal position." And he says like, "Yeah, but it's too much fucking work." And basically Nezu says, "Well, what the fuck do you want then?" And Jason basically looks at him and says, and basically was about to like pull out his knife, and then he was like, "No, what? If I don't do this, Melina will never get off me about it." And he basically says, "Let me be a teacher here for Monet." And Nezu says, "Done." Like that's the exact same minute he says, "Done." And basically he's basically like, Jason looks at it. He's like, "I want the main fridge done. I want $1 million done." And basically, Jason looks at him like, "So anything I ask of you, you will just say done, and you'll do it." He says yes. And basically, Jason says, "Wow, like people are that fucking pissed scared of me." And this says, "Well, if you know the stories, only one person, like you were killed only once, and after that, you came back from hell." And he said, and basically he remembers. He's like, well, yeah, I constantly come back from hell. It don't matter. What the fuck? I shouldn't even be yawning. It's 10:30. But yeah, I'm gonna end it here because, matter of fact, I'm not, because I want to actually get through this. So after all that happens, it gives Melina some alone time with little Jason, with Jason Jr. and Toga. Oh my gosh, I fucked that up. Why is it Himiko Toga, not Toga Himiko? Because it's just Japan, that's why. So it'd be Toga Voorhees. That's... I gave her two fucking last names. Oh well, too late for that shit. So now, upon, like, Jason going in there for an interview, Melina basically, like, zips towards, like, Jason Jr. and fucking Toga. And basically, she's asking, like, a shit ton of questions. But the main one was, how the fuck did you two meet? And Jason basically explained it like, she was the midnight stabber, and I was her victim. And like basically he explained like, when I went out to get a map for the area so I can just like, do the lake mist, she was basically there and she stabbed me, and I gave it no mind. But I was like, all right, like I was looking for a map. But when she constantly did it, I basically noticed her, and I was like, can you stop stabbing me? And basically and after that she realized that I was a good like I was legit couldn't be hurt from stabbing. And so, I don't know why, but she just fell in love with me after that. And Himiko said, that's basically the story. And, like, fucking Melina's just looking at it, and she's like, what the fuck? And then, like, the original Jason, like, Lake Misted, he was like, oh, what's going on? And, like, upon seeing, like, Melina sitting down and looking, like, serious, Jason basically was about to lick Mist away, and Melina said, "Nope, nope, nope, you come in here too." And he says, "Damn it!" And the conversation ensues with basically Melina basically talking about like, oh, how like that shit is weird, and then like freaking Jason like basically chirped in. He was like, "You find it weird, but you gotta remember, the night we basically made him is the night where you basically was banished from Outworld." Oh yeah, I forgot Kai's there too. Like Kai was in the conversation because she wanted to hear about it. Basically, on the day that you came from Outworld, you were piss drunk, found my cabin, and like see me like butt ass naked, and you decided the Midnight Tango was a thing, and then you just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna just like just raise a kid with this guy." And upon hearing that, Melina basically says like, "You know what? I can't even say shit about that because that is the whole story there, basically." And basically, Jason knew this, but Kai and fucking Himiko were just like, "What the fuck is wrong with this?" I mean, no, Himiko basically was like, "Oh, that's romantic." Kai was looking like, "What the fuck is wrong with this family?" And basically, like, looking around like, "What the fuck is wrong with my cousin?" Like, what the? And he basically looks at it. She basically looks at him and says, "What the fuck is wrong with this side of the family?" Like, honestly, you basically have a person you're gonna, like, knowing you, this is gonna be the person you spend the rest of your time with because, like, you won't kill her. And he says, "Who said I would?" And like all of them look at him and says, "You won't." And basically, like, and even the older Jason basically looks at him and says, "You won't trust me." And like, see, like Jason Jr. basically says like, "All right," and then Kai says, "You might as well just say fuck it. She's Toga. I was about to say Toga Midoriya. What the fuck? Yeah, Toga Izu is confirmed. That shit is retarded." Basically, she basically says she might as well change her name to fucking Toga Voorhees, and she says, "Oh no, that's already done." Like all of them say, "Fucking what?" And she says, "Yeah, it's pretty much already done. I already submitted the paperwork for it." And like they're all looking like, "What?" Like, no, it's over. Like, fuck it. Like, it basically say, "Welcome to the family. We have Jason Senior, Jason Junior, me, Melina, and our cousin." And basically says, "I'm Kai, his cousin from Outworld." And mind you, Toga was kind of like getting like ticked off about Kai until she said like, "Yeah, I'm his cousin from like I'm basically his cousin," and she basically said, and Himiko was like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." And I'm gonna end it there after basically like that whole spiel happened. So I decided to record this one in the morning because I got bored and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm in the mood for it." But I'm gonna record like the new one tonight, I think, because I don't want to do it right now because my voice is kind of run low, or my mouth is basically getting dry. My mouth is getting dry basically, and I don't want to just like in the middle of like recording, get something to drink, then go back and do a second one. I can't. I don't want to do two in a row right now. I'll do it eventually, just not right now. So yeah, peace, and this is Jason Part 3.